Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Josephine and on this channel we talk about fragrances. Today's video is about the best unisex fragrances that are appropriate for summer. So I have 10 fragrances with me today. They're all quite diverse and intriguing fragrances. So if you'd like to hear about these fragrances, then please keep watching. The first fragrance that I have is called Entre CIEL et Mer by Pierre Guillaume. This is your really fresh and airy aquatic fragrance. It definitely evokes the seaside, but not necessarily the beach, if you know what I mean. So there's ingredients of ambergris, of seaweed, sea salt, and sandalwood. So this is a very fresh and mineral salty type of fragrance that has a soft cotton-like feel as well. So it smells really clean. This fragrance will make you think of white linen that is drying outside in a house that is by the sea, because you get that sea breeze that's a little bit salty and the cotton freshness of the freshly cleaned linen. So that is what I get from this fragrance. You can also have a bit of an impression of this warmed skin by the sun that, you know, you've applied sun tanning lotion and you've had a few dips in the sea. So you get that like warm feeling that smells a little bit of that lotion, but not too much. And it's again, salty and mineral. So that is what this fragrance can evoke, and for sure is a great scent to wear during the summertime for the day. The second perfume is Mile High 38 by Parle-moi de Parfum. Parle-moi de Parfum is a niche brand that I wanted to bring to your attention as well. I will probably do a little video on it, but essentially it is a niche brand who has the in-house perfumer Michel Almerac. And Michel Almerac is a very, very famous nose who's created countless fragrances like Chloé Eau de Toilette, also the original Dior Fahrenheit, and the original Gucci Pour Homme. So he's very well known and he's working with his son and I believe wife as well on this brand. So it is really a family affair. Mile High, what does this perfume smell like? This is a really juicy pineapple fragrance. The pineapple in this perfume is sweet, caramelized, almost like pineapple flambé. So you've added that flame to the pineapple and it's a little bit syrupy too. There's also some patchouli which really grounds the fragrance, and generally this is a really interesting perfume. The brand describes this fragrance as an olfactory carnival, and to be fair, there's no better description to describe this scent. It is a delight for the senses. It's a really colorful perfume that is joyful, energetic, and really happy. One thing with this fragrance is that I wouldn't recommend it to wear on a super hot and humid summer day. I have another one for that. But with this one, you know, you can wear it during the summertime, but just not when, you know, it's like 35 degrees outside, because the pineapple is quite syrupy and sweet and can be maybe a bit overwhelming. But definitely a great summer fragrance to discover. They do samples on their websites of Parle-moi de Parfum. So definitely check out their website. I'll link it down below if you want to try this fragrance. The third fragrance is Neroli Portofino by Tom Ford. This is a summer staple and it is just a really great out of the shower, fresh and clean Neroli fragrance. This perfume, in terms of as far as Tom Ford fragrances go, is probably one of the lighter ones and one that is not as bold, very easy to wear. It's quite simple, but in this perfume, less is more. So it's beautiful in its simplicity. The Neroli in this fragrance is very fresh, comforting, and very well blended. It doesn't feel grassy or green or, you know, rough or sharp around the edges. It's just beautifully blended and soft. And the way that this fragrance dries down is definitely more on the musky end. So again, enhancing that comforting and fresh feel of the fragrance. In terms of performance, you get projection for maybe like the first 2 hours, but it is true that it will then stay closer to your skin. I would say it's probably one of the worst performing Tom Ford fragrances. fragrances, but then again, it is one of the best neroli fragrances on the market, I find. So if you're a fan of white, clean florals, then definitely have a look at Neroli Portofino by Tom Ford. Number 4 is Orange Sanguine by Atelier Cologne. This is your bright, joyful citrus fragrance that revolves around a very key note of orange. And actually, there's 2 oranges in this perfume. There is bitter orange and red orange, and these are blended with sandalwood, tonka bean, and amber. So some people say that this fragrance reminds them of a freshly squeezed orange juice, so packed full of energy. But this fragrance actually reminds me of an orange popsicle by the brand Calipo, and I used to have these on holiday when I was younger. So this perfume actually transports me to the beach on, a really hot summer day, and I'm just eating my ice cream on the beach. So that is what this fragrance is to me. I find that it is a very bright, joyful, and happy perfume. It will immediately relax your senses, but also will add a bit of energizing, bright energy to your day. So if you're looking for a really happy citrus perfume that will transport you to the beach with a cocktail in hand, then definitely check out Orange Sanguine by Atelier Cologne. Number 5 is Still Life in Rio by Olfactive Studio. This perfume is your ultimate summer scent for when it is super hot outside. It can be mega humid, your hair is all over the place, but you wear this fragrance and you will feel really refreshed and invigorated. This is another citrusy fragrance, but I would call it more of like a citrus cocktail, citrus fruit cocktail. There's notes of yuzu, lemon, and mandarin that are infused with ginger and mint. So it's really uplifting and refreshing right from the start. And there's also Jamaican hot pepper and some coconut water to give it a bit of a tropical feel. This is the type of fragrance that I personally really enjoy taking on holiday. If I go, to like a humid area. If you're living in a really humid place around the world, this perfume is really good. It is a unisex scent as well because in the dry down, it has sort of a masculine cologne-like feel, but with still that soft coconut water note, which makes this fragrance entirely unisex. Number 6 is Dôme Rosa au Sanguine. This is a futuristic rose, and it is entirely unisex. Men can wear this fragrance too. So what do I mean by futuristic rose? So let me explain. This fragrance opens with a really juicy, crisp, and green pear to pomelo combination, making this fragrance really fizzy and effervescent. So super fresh right from the start. And then it develops its rosy character, which is smoky, but it remains extremely fresh. And if I had to compare this fragrance to a texture, it would be the texture of really smooth, cold, hard, shiny metal, like a metal pebble. This is what this fragrance gives me the impression of. It's extremely cooling, and the rose is done in a way that, is very refreshing. I personally really enjoy wearing this fragrance in the summertime, and I think it is such a unique take on your typical rose fragrance. Number 7 is VETIVER Pamplemousse by Zara. This is the Jo Malone collaboration with Zara, or Jo Loves, and she's created a line for Zara, and I have to say the fragrances are really good quality for the price. So I did a full review on the fragrances in a video. I'll link it down below if you're interested in seeing that. But the one that really stood out for me, and especially is appropriate for the summertime, is VETIVER Pamplemousse. So one of Jo Malone's strengths actually is creating beautiful citrus fragrances. And the way that she does these fragrances is that they are simplistic but very well blended, and there's always an ingredient in there that makes these citruses really interesting and not flat or boring. So they have this elegance and elevation to the citrus perfumes, which I personally really enjoy. So VETIVER Pamplemousse is a wonderful association between vetiver and grapefruit, and the grapefruit is really sparkling and juicy, pulpy. Actually, you can almost taste the pulp in your mouth when you spray this fragrance, and it blends with the elegance of vetiver. So vetiver is such an elegant note in perfumery, and it's a little bit smoky, but it really plays more on the bright side of vetiver. So the two blend really beautifully for very refreshing composition. If you're on a budget and you're looking for an elevated citrus fragrance, for sure check this one out because it is totally underrated and a really good one. Now, in terms of projection and performance, etc., I mean, Zara fragrances are not known for having great performance. Then again, they are super affordable, so this fragrance, you know, is totally fine to throw into your bag and spray throughout the day. This actually is, I think, a 30 ml bottle, which is quite small and really convenient, so you can just, as I said, throw it into the bag and reapply throughout the day. You don't feel guilty because they're not, you know, crazy expensive. So that was VETIVER Pamplemousse by Zara. Number 8 is Salado by CARNER. This is your fresh citrus cucumber fragrance. Yes, there's cucumber in here, and it is also sprinkled with sea salt. So this fragrance is really fresh and watery and really uplifting. So it's just as if you were drinking cucumber lemon water with ice cubes on a hot summer day. That refreshing, rehydrating feeling that you would get from drinking that water, this is what you get as well with this fragrance. In the dry down, it becomes more musky with a little bit of a woody undertone, but it remains super fresh and has that mineral feel. I find that this is a fragrance that works probably really well, again, on a beach holiday. It kind of has that salty sea feel, which is super nice. In terms of, you know, complexity, it's not perhaps the hugely complex, most innovative fragrance, but it takes the note of cucumber and does it in a really nice way. Number 9 is Lime, Basil and Mandarin by Jo Malone. This is a Jo Malone staple, whether it be for the summer or throughout the year, but I find it particularly good for the summertime. And also, I think this is one of their best-selling fragrances. This, to me, is an entirely unisex perfume because it has a great balance between masculine notes and feminine notes. So the masculine notes are more of a cologne-like type of feel. So you get a burst of citrus and aromatics with basil and thyme, which make it, to me, very masculine, but it is also balanced out with soft feminine notes of iris and mandarin. So it makes it also a little bit sweet. And in terms of what this fragrance smells like, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's in the title. It smells of lime, basil, and mandarin. That's it. Like it just does. I find though that it is really elegant and unique, and it does remind me a little bit of these expensive luxury hand soaps that you could find in a luxury hotel, for example. It has that cologne, citrus, aromatic feel with that touch of sweetness from the mandarin. And the final fragrance, number 10, is Tonique by Miller Harris. This is a gorgeous smoky green tea. I have here the perfume oil, a little rollerball, which is fantastic to just, you know, reapply throughout the day. It smells so good, but it also comes as a spray format. Now, what does this fragrance really smell like? It is very fresh and opens with a burst of citruses with bergamot, petit grain, and lemon that are blended with nutmeg. So it's also a little bit spicy and retains this fresh character actually throughout the development of the fragrance. And as you continue to wear it a little bit more, then you get this smoky mate green tea that peeks through and is just a wonderful fragrance. If you're a fan of green tea fragrances that are very fresh, invigorating, but also have a bit of a twist, so this isn't flat at all, this is a really, really well blended and nice green tea perfume, then I highly recommend you check out Miller Harris. Miller Harris is another great example of a brand that does sampling really well. So if you want to try Tonique but you don't want to commit to the full-size bottle, you can actually purchase the samples directly on their website, which I find is very helpful. So that was Tonique by Miller Harris, and this concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments below if there's any other unisex fragrances that you enjoy wearing during the summer. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye!